In the comments section of a previous video, someone suggested looking at the various TARDIS control consoles used in the science fiction series Doctor Who. This was not a subject I knew much about, but I was intrigued enough to gather information. And so, after some degree of labour, I have produced the console of the first Doctor. Many of the sources of information for my rendering of the control console originate in the painstaking work of posters on the website tardisbuilders.com, where the curious and the fascinated can find debate, analysis, stills, and diagrams. Any mistakes in this video, however, are my own. This portrayal is of the console as it appeared during the early years of William Hartnell's tenure. The prop itself was slightly modified over the years, well into the eras of the second and third Doctors. I have deliberately chosen not to include the screws that can be clearly seen on the television prop. Perhaps these are temporal Gallifreyan screws, but I've attempted to present a tidy and clean layout. The TARDIS control console is hexagonal, and as such has 6 sides or panels full of levers and gizmos. In the centre is the time rotor, a column that rises and falls during temporal travel. Incidentally, we can see the roundel walls of the TARDIS interior in the background, whilst here they are clearly white. In many of the rare early colour images of the interior, the walls were light green. Let's examine the console in more detail with this energetic red arrow. As this side faces the TARDIS entrance, we shall start here. First, we have the door lever, which is self-explanatory. Below it is the tremulator switch, which is for eliminating damaging toxic vibrations outside the ship, such as hurricanes, storms, or earthquakes. Very handy. This is shaped suspiciously like a door handle, rather like a great many of the switches on the console. We might think that these are door handles, but we are dealing with a Time Lord here, so we must assume there must be some Gallifreyan reason for switches that look suspiciously like door handles. Up in the right-hand corner is the scanner switch, used for scanning, whilst below is a circular device, the helmic regulator, which is the closest thing to a steering wheel the TARDIS possesses. Next to it are the drift compensators. Incidentally, this grill up here is an audio unit, and all 6 sides of the control console have one. Let's move to the next panel now. Here is another circular device, but this one has a triangular shape inside the circle. This is the environmental governor, which keeps the TARDIS interior temporally stable, i.e. not prone to time slips, temporal feedback, or time eddies. The visual stabilizer circuits, in effect the internal light switches. To the lower left are more of those door handles. Together they are the emergency switch. Across from these, in the lower right hand corner, is the linear calculator, which works through the telepathic circuits to adjust the sight of anyone aboard to work better with the light frequencies of alien environments. Now we move round to our third side. Here we have the oxygen control dial, which during the second Doctor's tenure can be seen sticking out far more than we see here. To its left is the tracking monitor, which detects and tracks other space-time ships moving along the same time track as the TARDIS itself. The power response dial is to the left. Below is the control board for the tracking monitor. Round we go to the 4th side of the console. Here we find 2 more power response dials. Below them is the automatic log for recording the flight of the ship. Over here is the radiation detector, which is just the thing to ignore when you have just landed on an atomically blasted planet for the first time. The dimension scale stabilizer is up in the left-hand corner, whilst down in the lower left-hand corner is a third circular device, the dimension scale control, which is what controls the internal dimensions of the TARDIS. Round we go again. These are the booster switches that increase power to the dematerialization process. Below we find a fourth circular device, and it contains a red Star Trek style chevron. This is the altitude control and keeps the TARDIS upright. Dominating this side of the console, in pride of place you might say, is the dematerialization lever. To its left is a fifth circular device, this time the gravity control. Now we arrive at the sixth and final side of the console. Here we have the navigational control instruments, which are used with the coordinate programmer below. Over here is one of two materialization switches used during the TARDIS landing sequence, whilst between them is the status switch, which is used only for time travel. So, we have toured the TARDIS control console. It was a somewhat whistle-stop tour, and we passed over a great many switches and levers, such as the course acceptance unit and the telescopic microphone, although some of these appeared later in the series, or were added to fit the script when necessary. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at the very least you were mildly diverted. I do have a yen to attempt the 1980s console, or perhaps even the console of the 8th Doctor, who knows. If you think I ought to, feel free to comment below. If, on the other hand, you think I should not, then feel free to comment as well.